Triple B's Tees offer custom shirts and logo designs for all your apparel and merchandise needs, offering a variety of shirts, hats, hoodies, tumblers, and koozies. Triple B's will work with you one-on-one to personalize and perfect your logo. With over 5 years in the business, 20 years in the sport, they live for Demolition Derby.
Chunk and his crew can bring your imagination to realization with zero limitations. So for all your badass tees, choose Triple B's. Ladies and gentlemen, Hard Nosed Derby Podcast. A little bit different. Somebody's working, so they're going to try to chime in a little bit later. So I've got a guest in studio kind of taking his place for today. I get away with a little bit more because he's not here. We've got Tyler Pickens in-house. We are prepping for Salisbury Team Show. We talked to Grant last week about the hot stock. He's got a team with Austin Schaefer. Well, Mr. Tyler has got a three-man compact team with himself, Brady Smith, and Dickhead Cody.
Yep.
Sweet.
Sandbagger.
He is. He's a bagging bitch. We were talking before we hit the go. How do you like the Showtime official compact rules? Is that more like a Blizzard Bash build?
Close. Obviously, you get your plates and everything, which I prefer. I'd rather have, like if
all them bitches.
Yeah, everything plus some. But yeah, I like how we basically over the winter Huff kind of got with everybody and was like, "Hey, we're thinking about doing this or whatever." He went to Vossmer's, which they usually come up from here. From Kansas or whatever, yep. And then you got Solo Boys and Gordon and all them and us. He kind of got word from everybody on what we would like. We all wanted, we wanted cradle tie-in. Mm-hmm. Didn't get that, but we did get the cradle, so we bumped that up. And then the solid rear end, so we could do away with all the junk back there that just falls apart and what mainly ruins a car anymore.
How many times have I can't count on my hands the amount of times that I've seen Brady Smith just dragging a car with no fucking wheels touching the ground.
Yeah.
On the rear.
Yeah, once we figured out how to keep the fronts fairly straight for as long as we can, we just ran into, and then it just looks terrible because at that point you're just welding any kind of steel you can get to. It basically gets to that point where you just welding whatever you can back there to hold the wheels on. So that was kind of another thing that we didn't really talk about that, but he just said, "Hey, how do you feel about it?" We're like, "Do it." Like we just don't care. So
I ain't never seen none of you fuckers drive backwards anyways.
No.
Not in a compact. Not a hobo, yes.
Yeah.
Full tilt mod, not happening.
Yeah, not put too much time in the front of it. Might as well use it.
Not even Josh Gordon's piece of shit Mustangs.
He needs to bring one of those back out.
We have talked about some team list for this show. You're not the only Pickens running. We know Ronnie and Dakota Lopez and my homie Big D is all up in it. When you sit there and after you guys got signed up and started looking at that team list, did it make you a little bit more excited to be who you was going to be running against?
Yeah. Yeah, I was actually just talking about this the other day with everybody. It's like, so for the longest time, like we would have our rivalry, I guess you can call it, with like the Solo Boys. But it was too like we got to a point where we were building better. Like our stuff was holding up a lot better, running better. So it like was kind of getting away from that whole rivalry thing. We kind of just went out there, destroyed their cars, and that was the end of it.
Yeah.
And then just this last year at Higbee, they got one on us, and everybody's like, "Oh, are you mad?" And I'm like, "I love it." Like, you don't understand. Like, you derby against the same people for so long, and you get the same outcome. It's almost boring.
It's monotonous.
Yeah, and then, like, they got one on us, and like, "Oh, you're mad." I'm like, "No. Like, you don't understand. Like, this
now I'm fired up.
Yeah, I'm ready to build. I'm ready. So whenever I was looking at the list, and you get people, I mean, from everywhere. You got the Vossmers, which they always build good cars. Their stuff always runs good.
Two teams.
Yeah.
Two teams of Vossmers.
And the one team, so you got like Randy and all them, then the two brothers are on a team. The other team, the Kramer guys, I think is their last name. The one Kramer brother is nuts. Like, absolutely crazy.
He ran a filthy show in Shelbina and was fucking everybody up.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you got Josh, which his car was last year. I mean, the front of his car is right.
Do not give Josh Gordon props on this motherfucker.
I'll hit it. I mean, trust me, I've done it several times. But
hey, hold on, no, there was some. I think there was some wagering going on last episode about Cash App and shit.
Yeah. Basically, Grant and Steven's gonna owe me some money.
Josh Gordon has $150 on his head. Yeah. Just throwing that shit out there.
But then like Solo Boys are figuring stuff out. I don't know anything about these Wisconsin guys. I just know that they're not from here, so I hope they don't expect to come take any of our money because it's probably not going to work. And then
out of towners is one thing. Out of staters is a whole different ball game. You know, just think if you guys went up to run against, you know, hell, you could have brought 3 teams. So you go run up against Fisher and Mittendorf against, you know, in Minnesota Baptist at their local show.
Yeah.
Do you think that outcome would be any fucking fun?
Well, it ain't any different at Bash. I mean, you go out there and it's like, oh, we got 3 Missouri teams here and they got 1 team. We should be able to take them out. Well, people don't realize that people talk just like we do. So then you got 4 other teams that are like, oh, well, we're not running with them, but we're not going to hit them. It's like, oh, that defeats the purpose of what we're trying to do here. But, yeah, I mean, it's even we've been, me, Cody, and Brady, we've all went to P. Hill before, and we're good friends with like Clayton and all them, but it's, you know, at the end of the day, they're going to have the same mindset that we are. Like, out-of-towners, you're going to stick with your local guys. I mean, it's just part of Derbying.
Yeah. So
that's where, I mean, I told Huff that unless these guys have just some tanks, it's not smart. Like, but whatever. We're here for a good time.
And a long time or just a good time?
Well, I don't know yet. I haven't decided. I've been telling everybody for the past week that I'm just going to go get drunk and drive crazy. I've been in the more conservative driving recently, but I think I'm about due for just get hammered and probably drive myself over a wall.
Well, that's what I'm going to ask because really, we haven't really got to talk much. Does your driving change a little bit when you got something to come home to? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Little man and mama and all that.
Yeah, it's definitely something that before, I mean, you know, whenever I first started, it was more of a, you know, I want the mad dog. I want it. Kind of where Cody is at, which Cody, I don't think his mindset's ever going to change. He has anger problems. He gets mad and but yeah, I definitely think about it a lot more, like as I'm just sitting in the car or whatever, whether it's on the track or just staging or whatever. It's like sometimes I think it's all dumb. Like, because like we talked about on the way over here, I mean, don't matter who you are or what you're driving, you get in there, there's a chance you're going to get hurt. And that's something I definitely think about. But I think it's more just changed. It changed a lot whenever I started putting a lot of time and money into it, especially now. I mean, everything's expensive living-wise. Fuck. Yeah, COVID kind of screwed everything up, but that was the main thing for me. But it definitely now after so last year I won Salisbury, and he was basically old enough to kind of understand what. Now he's completely obsessed with it. Like most kids are watching this Coco Melon and all this stuff to go to sleep. This dude straight up watches Derby videos to fall asleep. If he sees a Derby car, he's all about it. But, yeah, he definitely understands it. So, like, after Salisbury, I was like, hey, we won. And he was all getting all pumped up about it, which now he's into it. So that kind of helps me want to, like, hey, if I win, he'll enjoy it just as much as I do. But yeah, the whole getting hurt aspect and all that, definitely.
I mean, because you're the only person that I know that fucks your thumb up.
How
you did your thumb, and it still don't look right.
It's like 2 inches too long now. Yeah, it kind of one of those things.
2 inches too long.
Yeah.
Shit.
I mean, thinking about laying down in the car next time. No, but I mean, it's a thumb. Like, people don't think about that, and then you definitely don't think about how much you use a thumb until you ain't got a thumb.
That's right.
It's terrible
Until you can't use it.
But I mean, people, breaking a leg, or these transmissions blowing up on them and everything else. I mean, stuff like that is way terrible. I
mean, we have talked about it several times, and I wish every promoter would implement like a blast blanket like they use on tractor pulling and shit. I mean, you can get them. They don't have to be the certified. You can get them out of date. You can get them cheap, man. But something like that, you guys don't have the issue in the front wheel drives. That fucker's way up there in front of you. If something happens, it's going outside. It's not coming through, the tranny tunnel or anything. But I wish they would implement something just to make sure you're never promised tomorrow, man. But I sure would like to help.
Yeah,
to see that son of a bitch if I could.
Yeah, especially like the whole. I mean, just imagine if you got into a car and got hurt, and then you're like, "Hey, I can't go to work for 6 months," and then you're like, now what am I doing for 6 months?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the world's going to keep spinning regardless. Bills are going to rack up. I do think about that stuff all the time. So everybody's like, "Oh, you're a pussy. You sandbag," and I'm like, "That's fine. I mean, you can say whatever you want." I'm like,
bank don't care.
Yeah, never. They don't ask.
No, I promise you, Cody Meyer has never been asked at the bank. How'd you get that?
Yeah.
I bagged my dick off. Don't matter. They still cashed it.
A lot of the times, I'll probably just tell them a lie anyways. Like, yeah, I was a badass and I won.
Man, are your expectations for this show, your whole build process and everything, were you able to try some new stuff, or is it just do your norm, cookie cutter, what you guys do?
This is
because we all know you're going to be in a W body. I ain't fucking stupid.
Yeah. No, we're there to junk Camrys is what we're doing. Other than maybe Greg, we like him. This build is some stuff that I tried for Bash that I thought would help, but other than that, it's basically completely different. Than it's just the stuff that I've kind of learned over the years, and then especially over the last year. Basically going to Bash and talking to the big thing is like the way like out of state people. So like I'm good friends with Bailey Bratz and all them. The way that they build, like we all toss around ideas, once you get good buddies, and that's basically what I did with this car is stuff that I already knew, stuff that I found out, stuff I saw at Bash, everything, and I just completely packed it into this car. So it's completely different. I mean, it could be junk in one hit. It could be pretty all right, but I've done several front ends, which my dad's car, he's running the car that I built for him 2 years ago, but like Dakota Lopez, Trent, I mean, I've helped a lot on cars with Brady. Me and Cody went down there, spent some time down there with him, helping him out. So we think it's something that is definitely going to work. Because I did it at Bash, and my Bash car never moved, and down there at the end of the feature, it was like 5-on-1, and I was just turning into bumpers because I thought my car was completely junk. And then I get it on the trailer, I'm like, oh, well, it never even moved other than the back. Like that Camaro was basically full tracking me in the back of the head.
Yep.
So I think it'll be all right, but excited to see what.
Excited.
Yeah.
There we go. So really, same expectations. You go out, you're going to do your normal shit.
Yeah.
We were actually talking on the way over here, and Grant said it last week. How much talking do you think it would have to do away with the heats?
At this point, I doubt, unless there was low car count, I don't think he would just let us do anything like that. But I would 100%, if there were several teams that just didn't show up, that just hadn't said anything because they knew they weren't getting their money back or whatever, I would for sure rather just run a feature. Still teams, still same old, same money, same everything. Just throw us all out there, and the last team standing wins.
Because you were there at Spring X, you saw that. I mean, so they're compacts, 4-man compacts. They're running heats, they're running consies, they're running features. But like their bone stock 2-man show and their bone stock minivans, that's what they did.
Yeah.
You know, however many 20 teams, 16 teams or 20 teams or whatever, they went out there, they got it on, and it was a good show. Why? Because there was no bagging. You didn't have to worry about working on your shit. You didn't have to have that contemplation in your brain to say, I only get 2 plates or I get no plates.
Yeah.
You know, so.
See, that's what makes it hard at Bash, too, because you don't get any plates.
To start.
Right. But then you get to put your plates on there. Well, how I would plate my car on a fresh car would be completely different, rather if the car was bent. So that's where I think the driving, like now we're allowed 8 plates at this team show. We have all 8 plates on there. Like I was telling you, we know what the car is going to do. We've been around it several times. So, but I do think, you know, at this rate, it's a team show. You're going to try and get down to the end. I think there's going to be definitely try and be some more. I say that, but it's the same. I don't know if you watched the Salisbury Derby from last year.
Last year I did not.
It was full track from start to finish. Everybody. I mean, it was. I was talking to Huff about it the other day, and he says it's one of the best shows he's ever watched. And so it could easily get like that, just depending on what happens, who does what. The main thing is how the heat draws go, because right now the board is pretty even. I would say you got my team, my dad's team. We're obviously going to be all together. Trent's team. Brady has some family in there. That you got the co-ed compacts,
and then you got Vosmer's coming over, bringing 2. You know, and they're gonna have friends.
Yeah. But then you have like Josh's team, the Solo Boys team. Like they have teams. Like right now, it seems pretty even, but that's not good. Whenever like Blizzard Bash, we went out there and we pulled Brady's team in the heat, so that could happen. Really, everything is going to go off of who draws who in the heat. And that's probably the same case for the big cars, too. I mean,
oh, yeah.
But
that's kind of the difference, though. You know, just you hit on that. So where you played a car fresh, and when you go out with no plates, like at Bash, that's got to change your mind. I guess your process in your head of using it to make it stronger or using it for a Band-Aid to fix something.
Right.
So you don't see any issue with the plates that you guys get where you're having it. You guys weren't in the big discussion over social media.
Yeah.
I'll just just say that.
That was a talk there for a while, because some of the teams that were going were thinking about basically only putting 6 plates on, and then we're going to try and vote in the last 2, but allowing to tie in. Well, I'm just like, well, that's not going to work. Like, people are already going to put their plates on. Some people's cars are. It would have just been a big, what's going on now?
Yeah.
But that was a talk there. But yeah, 100%. We like at Bash too. Most people it don't, but it changes my driving style 1,000,000%. I'm not gonna put all this time into a car, especially if I know I have no plates, and then go out there and full track someone in the bumper and bend my own car. It's just it's
next thing you know, you're looking down the
that's
fucking
why
header tubes.
Yeah, that's why I think at this point the compacts for this team show is probably going to get wild, because you got all these guys that have fully plated cars and the whole 9 yards now, minus cradle tie-ins.
And some of them, in my opinion, is probably going to be their first show. You haven't run a show this year.
Nope.
Because you didn't go to Carnage.
Nope. Didn't go to Spring X.
You had some guys that run Spring X. You had some guys that run Capital Carnage. You've had some guys that ran Griggsville, for the Southern Number 9 stuff. But there's a lot of guys in this area or straight west of here. They're itching.
Yeah.
They're ready to fuck shit up.
That's where I've been at, basically. That's why I'm like, if I convince myself to get drunk or a little buzzed, I'll just... Plus, it's only like 30 minutes to my house. So it's like, I go down there and take an ass whooping or
Yeah.
junk my car, go home, whatever.
Correct.
Not that far, but
Yeah.
I don't. It's gonna be a fun one. But yeah, I'm definitely itching to jump in there and hit something.
Even on the big car side, there's some what that list started as. That list has changed.
Right.
Anybody can go look at that list on Showtime Official's Facebook page, and they would have saw Austin Pfeiffer and Sean Pfeiffer. Their name's not on that list anymore. You would see Tyler Baker and Jeremy Baker. Their names aren't on that list anymore. So whether it's the guys who didn't get the time to get their shit done, something happened, a partner backed out.
Right.
So on the compact side, we see that list. It still could change.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, I was kind of the one that started the whole give me a updated driver's list because, people talk which I'm not real big into the whole like he said, she said, like I just don't care.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I like to kind of like what we were talking about, like kind of how Josh like comes off as like a
arrogant fuckhead.
Yeah. But then you're like, you talk to him, you hang out with him, like, oh, I like this guy. But that was the big thing for me whenever I first met Josh at Salisbury, just like the way he acted was like, man, I don't know if I want to choke this dude out or what the deal is. But it's like once I picked up on his humor, like he's the same way. He'd be like,
he's got a lot of sarcastic humor.
yeah, like so. Then that's why I started the whole like, oh, let's see the driver's list, just because I heard names were jumping in on teams and people were backing out, and I'm like, yeah, let's hear it. Not a whole. I mean, other than like one team that's still currently changing.
Yeah.
Sean Lackey was on one team and now he's not, and it's someone else.
Yeah.
And, I mean, that whole. Other than that, that's basically the only team that's changed, really. So I don't.
So once this one's over, are you? Because we have talked to you before. I don't know how many fucking derbies you ran like 2 years ago, but it was like 114 or some shit.
Yeah.
Do you have that kind of same game plan, or are you kind of picking and choosing a little bit?
So I think gonna hit Danny and Tyler's Madison show, currently trying to get some stuff together for a youth car for that. And then, but I'm going to take my car there also. And then I think I'm just going to run Huff's shows local. I mean, it's the whole traveling and derbying like we did, it was definitely fun. And at the time, there wasn't really like as many people that derby compacts now. So we basically won every weekend or place. So it was not that bad. But
you're talking like going from Shelbina to Fulton type shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I don't plan on doing that. I plan on staying all local. All Huff shows are basically an hour from me, so that's kind of where I want to stay.
Yeah, because as far as the show for you, will it be Shelbina or Slater? Shelbina is roughly 52 miles from Brookfield.
Yeah, that's probably the farthest
I'm not
one.
sure how far Slater is.
Well, it's technically only like 30-something miles, but it's like 2-lane, 45
shithole
mile.
driving.
Yeah. Supposed to be 45, usually do 95.
That's how you get from Shelbina to Fulton.
Yeah, 105 more like
Jesus Christ. Y'all, could you imagine what if you had a fucking trailer tire blowout?
I thought my truck was going to blow up. That's the problem. They're calling saying, hey, you got 10 minutes to get here. I'm like, well, I'm 15 minutes away. Like, well, I guess we're going faster. And we literally left there, and by the time we pulled into their pits, the compact cars were sitting on the track waiting for us, and they texted us as we were pulling in.
Yeah.
So that just got lucky enough to win that one. So it kind of paid the couple $100 in fuel that I spent.
I was going to say you probably did that.
And I'm pretty sure I didn't get home till like 3 o'clock in the morning.
That's probably what I'm thinking. We're about the time we're going to get home this Saturday.
Yeah, 5.
5?
Probably.
Yeah,
Well, depending on how far you're going, I guess.
Well, I'm going about the same distance you are, just the opposite direction.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I guess it depends on heats, too. I mean, they have the time limit rule, but I mean, like when you guys did the Palmyra, I mean, our heat only lasted 1 minute and 20 seconds, and then some lasted 5-6 minutes.
Yeah.
To me, that's an average heat, 7-8 minutes, somewhere in there.
What people don't realize in the sport of derby, or not even have anything to do with demolition derby except going to a fair and watching it, people don't realize 10 minutes is a long fucking time.
Yeah. Yeah.
It probably doesn't feel 10 minutes to you in the car, especially if there's no bagging going on, if it's just wide the fuck open.
Yeah.
Most of the time, that's 3 minutes.
Yeah, that's what I'm, like the whole, when he's like, you have 15 minutes, and I'm like, well, I'm just hoping, like, it'd probably be boring to watch.
Like the features could be 15 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, 15 to 20 minutes. I've been in fair derbies where the whole derby has lasted 4 or 5, like the compacts lasted 4 or 5 minutes. Or I've been in situations where there was only 5 cars that showed up to the J.R. Scott guy. He did the Huntsville Derby. And there was only like 5 cars, and everybody got stuck minus me and Josh, and it was me and Josh just battled it out for like 10 straight minutes. So it's, I mean, but in a heat, like, especially, I don't know what goes through a big car driver's mind going into the heat. But literally, if you talk to any compact derby driver, and they say, hey, you're got a heat 3-on-3, 90% of them are going to say, yeah, we're going to absolutely send it in the heat. Like, that's just what you do. So whenever he came out with this whole, whatever it was for compacts, 15 minutes, I'm like, if my heat lasts 15 minutes, I'm giving up. I'd probably be dehydrated and
Fucking wave the white flag. No, stop this.
Yeah, I'd be over it at that point. That's a long time for a heat.
It is. It's a very long fucking
And if
time
I'm
for
derbying for 15 minutes, if I get out, my car better be junk. Like, that's a long time to derby.
We know you've got to run Blizzard Bash. Do you got another big show on the radar? Because now big shows are everywhere. But we're actually talking on the way here about so much difference in everybody's compact rules.
Yeah.
Other than Blizzard Bash, those are pretty common. And then you've got a lot of promoters and local to us that are pretty much running that same shit. But, we were talking Spring X rules are a little bit different. Mayhem's rules are a little bit different. Have you looked into Gold Rush rules?
Yeah, they're close to Blizzard Bash, but still kind of off. Like, that's kind of my goal. Like, I have a lot of fun at like these local fair shows because it's a lot easier. It's one day, especially now having a kid and everything. It'd be different if the kid was older. It'd be
5 or 6, let them run around and fuck around. Yeah,
but I mean, that the big thing for me is like how far away a lot of them are. But I would definitely love to get to where I go run 2 of these 3 big shows a year, and that's it.
Yeah.
I'd rather. I don't know. I had a lot of fun running that many derbies. Like whenever we ran, I think we hit like 22 before we ever went to Blizzard Bash. And then we hit Blizzard Bash, and then they went to Carnage. But just, I don't know. I just don't have as much fun as I used to, I guess. Like, building is getting longer and taking away a lot of time from other stuff. But I would definitely like to, probably maybe run like a Mayhem one time, something like that. I definitely want to run Carnage. Never been there, been to Blizzard Bash. But that's ideal for me. Like Carnage, you're allowed your plates, you're allowed your Blizzard Bash car as if you were going to pull onto the feature. Like Blizzard Bash is cool, but the whole no plate thing and the heats and all that and the amount of work you have to do to the car and everything else, it's like Carnage is ideal for me. That's why, like, if we could get, say, like if Bristol had their rules that was like Carnage, I guarantee you a lot of the guys around here would go. That's why I was talking to Austin Johnson, hit him up about possibly running Blizzard Bash rules at P Hill, just do like a pre-entry, 100% payback kind of thing because they dropped the class or whatever.
Yeah.
Because you got Clayton and all his guys, like Dorsey and all of them.
Oh, yeah.
You got all of us. I mean, there's quite a few people around here that are going to probably be hitting Lucky 7 shows that would probably go there because, like, all the BAS guys from up there, there's some new guys. They used to figure 8. They got 4 or 5 compact cars. Cody, his brother, his dad, me, my dad, Trent, like all the solo boys are getting cradles. Josh is getting a cradle. And we're like I was talking to Jesse the other day, Jesse Overfelt, talked to him the other day. He was talking about how he really wanted to go and run like Carnage or whatever, but he's never messed with a cradle. So I'm like, you don't understand how like us Missouri guys like work. Goes back to the out of town thing. Like if Jesse and the solo boys went to P Hill or, Kansas or somewhere, we're going to run with those guys just because they're local Missouri guys. Now, I'm not saying if it comes down to us, we're not going to turn it up on him quick or them quick, whatever. I mean, that's just don't matter what class, there's a pecking order. Unless you're gut and go, then you're probably dumb and you just want to hit somebody hard. That's just how those guys work. They get a $200 card and they think they got to hit somebody at 60 miles an hour. But I would have no problem going up there with those guys and running it down with them just because that's how we are. But there's a lot of people that are getting back into compacts. It's just the previous years have ruined it because people didn't want to run them. Get people loading up.
Oh, yeah.
When they have cars kind of deal.
So... And then you got fuckheads over east there that they'll junk their mom. They don't care.
Yeah, Clayton. Fuck it. Full track everything. That's Cody's mindset. Literally, that's
those two. They're like,
yeah. Whenever Cody told me he was running Spring X with Clayton, I'm thinking this is not going to be good.
Because Clayton tells me they're not going to win. They're going nose out. The whole weekend, I thought, oh, my God.
So I rode down with Derek or whatever, left my truck here, all that. So we're hanging out up there watching, and Clayton and everybody, they're driving smart. And one of the gray area cars pops Cody a good one. And it was weird because, like, me and Derek almost look at each other at the same time, and we're like, this is where everything goes downhill. And next thing I know, it was
like
just
a fucking hornet's nest.
It was like a full track party the whole time until it come down to those last 2 cars. I'm like, that was awesome. And I text Cody afterwards, and I'm like, good run, all that. And then I'm like, was it fun? He's like, oh, I had a blast. I'm like, you should have saw it from my view. Like,
that we did talk about that whole show. Other than being cold as fuck, that sucked. The show itself was the best one that I have watched, and that's from all of it. We're talking. I know Austin Schaefer, broke the fucking internet last year in the stock class, but the heats to heats and the features to the features, that in my opinion was the best show that I have seen there. Whether it's in person, whether it's DerbyNation.tv, that thing just was turned up from the word go.
Yeah, the only thing I didn't like was how many cars were in that last feature. It was like kind of dead for a long time.
Oh yeah,
but you knew things was getting wild, like once PJ started opening his car up, and then you got Alan.
Yep.
I was getting ready to leave because I'm basically anti-big car. I wish Steven was here because we could argue about it. But
hold on, you've owned big cars. Shut your face.
I've never. I guess
I didn't say you ever ran one. I said you've owned one.
I've ran one, but it was not a good run.
It was not a good one.
Basically, Derek Rank was getting kicked out of a derby, and next thing I know, I'm standing there at California's track, and I hear on the thing, Tyler Pickens, you're wanted at the bathroom. I'm like, this doesn't sound good. So I go walking down there, and there's 2 police officers, and they're like, we're told to tell you to drive this car. And I'm like, okay, it ain't mine. Get in this thing, don't fit, steering wheel's like at my calves. Had no idea how to even start the thing. There was no switch box or nothing. There was just wires and couldn't find them. Don't even know where the helmet came from because I didn't have a helmet. It was definitely too small. First, I'm out there like kind of trying to drive it like I would a compact. Like they're in the feature, you kind of feel things out. I was driving it like that. Well, then I'm thinking, well, this is not my car. Why not just send it? So there's a car that comes. I saw the car from the beginning of the night. This thing is like think of like a stock daily driver that's missing a couple windows. That's what this thing looked like. Dash still in it, 1/4-inch all thread holding the trunk shut. I'm thinking, I'm going to destroy that car. About 3/4 of the track, I hold it wide open and hit this thing, and I watch the front of the bumper on the car I was driving go up. I back up. Danny Hobbs was driving, and Tyler Verdon, not this car. They were driving a different car. They didn't know I was in there. They come and smoke me. I get door to door with them like, hey, like they're like, when did you get in here? I'm like, I don't even know what's going on. But I back up thinking that this car in front of me is just going to be absolutely junk, and there was nothing wrong with it. I'm like, I don't like this. I do not like it.
That, we have talked about people being able to, who have gone from a compact to a big car to a compact, or there's guys that run both,
Yeah.
You just said Danny Hobbs, Tyler Verdon, both of them. I mean, they'll run both.
They ain't got no brains either.
Your brain has to work overtime because you've got to think in your head to your right foot, these two fucking things aren't the same.
Yeah.
Something, just like you just said, something ain't jiving here. I'm eating a fucking header tube, but that other car, I think I scratched the paint.
Yeah. I don't even know what happened. I just basically saw it. It looked like a gut and go car, and I held it to the floor and everything. Car died, cut the starter wire, like the whole 9 yards. I'm like, I'm never doing this again.
To never say never, dude.
No, I'm not opposed. I want to try like a hobo, like something that I don't know anything about them. That's my thing. So I'd rather just throw something together and do something like that.
There's classes out there. There's like your Austin's Hobo Rules over at, the Southern Number 9 stuff where you can still put your motor in it. You can put a good transmission in it. You can put a good rear end in it. You just don't get all the welding and all that shit. And then there's some that, like Steven is going to go run in Bristol, that is stock drive shafts, motor to car, rear end to car.
Yeah, that would be something that I'd be interested in. Like throw a cage in it so I don't get hurt. Throw some different wheels and tires on it, throw a bumper on it, and kind of just go. Get the feel for it. Because I say this, but compacts are kind of, like I just talked about, there's several people that are getting into it now. But that's kind of why I had that big car there for a while, because I'm thinking, okay, well, if compacts die out, it's either that, only run gut and goes and build 47 cars a year, or just go up to big cars.
Correct.
So that was where my mind was at with it. But then it's like, I just can't get myself to restart after already doing it for 6 or 7 years. And nobody, it's Derby and everybody has their secrets. Nobody likes giving out their secrets. So then I'd just be mad because I'm basically restarting like I did compact. Start out running gut and goes in compact class and getting junked and doing it over and over again until I figure it out. And I just don't want to do that.
I don't blame you.
And I definitely don't want to build gut and go cars because, they're still $400 or $500 to buy anymore, and you can junk one in one hit.
Yep. You said something a little bit earlier that you were going to go to Madison. World of social media, it's probably on TikTok as well. You are actually doing a youth car.
Yep.
For June 1st at Madison.
Yep.
That car will be the youth, kind of what I would gut and go.
Yeah,
probably.
It's the exact same rules as Austin Johnson's front wheel drive hobo. Same. So like
you get a little bit of something.
Yeah, you get some all thread and maybe I think it's like a 6-inch bumper bracket. You get a shifter, stuff like that.
Yeah, I think you get shifter pedals.
Yeah,
column, all that. How are you building that for, which I know there's been some people already they're helping you. They're
Yeah.
bringing you material or, fuel cells, pedals, whatever. Are you building it for one certain person, or is it going to be like raffled off?
So, as of right now, it's a kind of like a raffle thing. I'm trying to get the stuff rounded up where me and Danny and Tyler, we talked about it. Where we want to be at with it is basically we provide everything, get extra parts donated from people, make sure those people are recognized, and I'm going to build the car. We would like to give the car to a kid, whether that's one certain kid that wants to get into it, but parents or whatever can't afford it, or they just love the sport, know about it, just don't have the know-how, whatever it is. We want to give a kid a setup to convince them to keep doing it. Basically, if you had the shifter, the pedals, the tank, all that, maybe once the car was junk, they would think, hey, I have this stuff, do it again, get the kids involved.
Yes.
But I think as of right now, it's going to be more of a raffle car for a kid. And then we talked about doing like selling tickets or something so that after the kid runs it, then a front wheel drive hobo, adult, woman, man, whatever, can jump in it and do it that night. Whatever money is raised goes straight back to that class. Same thing with the youth, if we did something like that. But we're mainly at where I'm at right now. Everything that I have, minus I got like a stock front bumper from Logan Adams. He said I can build it, and he would like it back. He didn't really say that he needs it back or anything.
Correct.
But I'm trying to get like
Logan, I think you listen. You give the fucking kid a bumper.
yeah. But like the cage material, shifter, that's all on me. The front wheels, stuff like that. John Waite actually gave me a set, which I don't know if you know much about him, John Waite. Mm-hmm. He actually just sold all of his derby stuff because he re-enlisted back in the Army.
Did he?
Yeah, and he got promoted, so he's full-time there. So he kind of gave me some extra stuff that he had laying around for this kid. But like Danny and Tyler have like extra tanks and stuff like that. Michael Huff, through his promotion, he bought some all-thread and a battery box. So I'm getting close to being able to just build the car and give it to the kid.
Yeah.
Whatever kid, whether they win it. But the only problem, like Danny mentioned, is we had a lot of people comment on there and say, well, if we knew the kid was keeping it, we would donate stuff, which is fine. I understand that part. You don't want to donate your stuff and then just some random person end up with it.
Correct.
But such late notice, how do you tell someone pulling into the pits coming to watch a fair show, hey, go get a trailer, your kid could possibly win this car? Kind of deal. So, but the bad part to this car is it's a Camry. Danny sent money to buy the car. I went and bought the car from Dino. I don't know why he has a Camry, but he had a Camry that once belonged to me. And the plan is to build it, but I'm trying to find somebody to build a simplified harness or something so I can get rid of because I don't know anything about the whole fuel injection. That's why I run a carburetor. So if I can get that part figured out and the car built before the show, I would personally like to just give the setup to a kid. And then if I had to, I would just drop the car off at their house.
Yeah. Simplified harnesses, is that LMMF?
I don't know if he builds Camry harnesses, though.
This is just all Chevrolet stuff.
I have no idea. I don't know exactly what I'm sure he could figure it out, but there's like videos on how to do it. But with me building the car, traveling to go get this stuff, like I was just all the way in Hannibal to pick up the wheels from John. So I don't know. Thought about hitting up Greg or somebody, see if they have one that I could just use or copy or something. Because the way I take it is they just take the stock harness out of the car and just simplify the wires down to be able to, because I
And
don't,
then they tune it.
yeah, I don't know anything about the security and everything else that comes with it.
So what if you you got enough people to follow you on TikTok and and Snapchat, Facebook? What if you do a section where like they nominate a kid?
Right.
And if you've got 30 nominations that would want to not just get it and drive it and be done with it, but actually would move forward into the sport, and where you can take like all 30 of those names and put them in a bucket. They're there that night.
Right.
And you draw one.
That's what we want to do. Basically, we're wanting to do that for the next show, but I mean, if I can make it happen for this show, I'd rather just do that. But that's definitely where I'm at with it. I definitely want to just throw a kid in a car and just be like, here, you have this. Keep doing it. Like,
yeah.
Because it's a lot of, I mean, that's why, like, I was real big into, like, arguing the whole front-wheel drive hobo in the first place, because 9 times out of 10, if you get a kid that works at Walmart or something after school, they get a couple extra $100, they're going to want to buy the header, they're going to want to buy the, they have to have something to spend their money on. If that's what they're spending money on, why not allow it? That's the big thing. So that's definitely where I'm at with it. But I feel like, we're 2.5 weeks away from that show now.
Roughly.
So, and I still have to build the car.
3 weeks.
I just stripped it. So that's
You'll
where,
have it done fucking next Friday. Shut up.
maybe, if I get all them people around there to help me.
I mean, because everybody knows that we are a super big supporter of youth, period.
Yeah.
Whether it's hobos, stocks, however. I know there's something in the works for the September Derby at Madison. I can't give out any said details, but there could be a little bit of change going with that youth stuff. I mean, as soon as we found out that youth was going to be at Border Wars, I mean, buddy of ours, Cody Pete, who actually is with R&R Promotions now, he reached out and I was like, yeah, well, because the youth kid is going to Pennsylvania if he wins it. So we figured we'd just hook him up with door wraps and roofs on, for that trip out there. I wish I just had some shit to give you, because I don't.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was at with it. So I was talking to Danny a little bit about my car, because like the solid rear axle and all that, because he said Blizzard Bash rules. So I was kind of talking to him about what he's going to allow, basically saying, there's all these guys that are close, allow this, whatever. We were just talking. And he mentioned that he needs some youth drivers, and then that's whenever we started talking about, and I kind of told him like, hey, I don't have a bunch of money to give you. I don't have, but what I do know how to do is build a car. Mm-hmm. So that was kind of my thing. Like, I'll help out where I can.
Yeah.
And that's what started it. I mean, I'd love to build several of them and just kind of have, which I think that's kind of what we're going for, but it's not that easy, especially with prices of stuff. And
I mean, we talked about it with Clayton. I mean, a clean W body, not even a driver's, $1,000?
Yeah, that's what they're getting up to. Just
so not everybody's just got an extra couple thousand laying around just to donate. But when you get people, especially in this sport, that will take something like that and run with it, usually you get more shit than you need.
Yeah.
Really. Yeah. You get 14 gas tanks and 3 sets of pedals, 14 shifters, 4 steering columns, 17 battery boxes.
Yeah.
I just hope everybody jumps on board with it. I really do.
Yeah, especially the whole. Which Clayton has done something like that. He built a youth car, and by the time I got to it, there was like 240 comments on there, and I'm like, I can come help you build the car at this point. Like, you have 400 shifter sitting there. Like, if I give you one more shifter, it's pointless. Like,
yeah.
But that's kind of where, I mean, I got a little note deal in my phone because that's the big thing with, we're going to make sure that whoever gives something helps with, even if that's stopping by the shop for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, we're going to make sure that everybody gets recognized on that.
So if anybody knows, guys that are listening, in 60-some countries, if you know of a simplified harness for a Camry,
yeah,
what are they, 2.3s?
I think this one's the 2.2.
Okay, 2.2. Get a hold of Tyler Pickens. Facebook Messenger, Snapchat, TikTok, and see if you can't get something figured out for this where he can just plug this sumbitch in and this kick and just let it rip.
Yeah, that'd be nice because I've seen a lot like that. Like, I've seen a lot of those figure 8 guys too. I mean, the header will be as cherry red as you can get it, and the thing's still kicking. So it'd be kind of ideal for. I'm trying to eliminate as many problems with it. If it was a W body, no problem. I know I could figure it out. I know there's several people that would let me use a harness, whatever.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I'm going for with this one, because I don't want, for one, the cage in it going to be ridiculous, like, just because it's a kid, whatever.
Correct.
But yeah, if I can eliminate any problems on the car not starting, the whole not running right, limp mode, the whole 9 yards on it, that's my plan for this thing.
Because when you started, that's what you struggled with.
Yeah.
You'd go out, rip like a son of a bitch for about 18 seconds, and then it'd go blow.
Yeah, it'd be like when I first started, it was basically the first full track was pretty cool, and then after that, it was their buddies are beating me up.
Yeah.
That's actually how I met Brady, Derek, Jordan Tobin, all of those guys. Went to Shelbina, and one of their good buddies was headed towards a wall, and I was at the other end, and full track their buddy, broke tie rods, car quit running, the whole 9 yards. And next thing I know, I'm getting...
You're a pinball.
Yeah, by all of them. And then Brady Smith sitting over there, oh, what took you out? I'm like, I think my fuel pump, like the wires were... So what I did is I just took a boat tank and cut a hole in it and stuck the stock deal down there, the wires running through it and all. Well, in that derby, I remember the wires were burning and going down in the tank. I'm like, well, this is not a good idea. Then Brady's like, hey, plug this, like, get this fuel pump. And I'm like, you guys just destroyed my car. Like, why are you telling me what to do? I just full tracked your buddy. And then that's whenever, I should have probably gave up, but I'm glad I didn't. That's where I'm at now. But, yeah, it was terrible. That
was a bad fucking idea.
Yeah. If I could eliminate that for another kid so that they don't have to. I think every kid should figure stuff out on their own, try their own things. But it's so easy for people to give up for reasons like that anymore.
Yes.
It happens a lot.
We've talked to so many guys and how the sport is evolving with the social media, people putting full builds on YouTube from start to finish.
Yeah.
I don't follow usually any compact stuff, but I'm sure they're out there too.
There's a W Body Talk and Swap page on Facebook. There's millions of people in it. There's hundreds of posts every day, but it absolutely ruins everything. Like, you will just have all the people on there that just jump on there and say, hey, how do you do this? And then you'll have like the 2 or 3 comments that's like, oh, well, if you just try it and figure it out. Then you'll have people on there that's just like, yo, this size tubing fits in the frame. Just beat it in there as far as you can. Like, that's very common to get on there. The page ruins derbying for a lot of people because of stuff like that. I try not to get on there other than maybe someone's posting a good deal or something. But other than that, it's just terrible. Anything you want to know about one of those cars, all you have to do is follow the page and go to the search bar right there, and it's probably there. Just because people are just like that. That's just...
There's some stuff, where you get pushed in the correct direction of doing something right.
Yeah.
But why does it always got to go back to cheating?
That's the big thing on like my car this year. That like last
What'd you do?
year,
Run out of fucking concrete?
Yeah. No. Trent gets a good deal. S&S Concrete, hit them up.
Oh, sweet.
They get good deals. No, they so that was the big thing last year with my bash car that I ran. I went on like where I won like 5 or 6 derbies in a row, and then it was my car was cheated and it had this and it had that. Well, back then, which granted it's just a year ago, we used to weld bumper brackets on the outside of the frame. Well, there's a ginormous hole on the side of those frames.
Yes.
So then we started putting them on the inside. Like, we're cheated? Our frames are cheated? Look, there's a ginormous hole. Huff, the other while back, I'm like, sending him videos. Like, here you go. Just, it's going to start. Like, you know, if this team show goes well, our cars are going to be cheated, just so you know. Like, this is the frame. Like, and it's just reasons like that. It's like I said, you can go on WBody page, say, hey, 3x3 or whatever it is fits straight in the frame. Like, people are not afraid to do it. So it's like, I try and eliminate a lot of that stuff.
Not every inspector's got a scope.
Right.
Most of them do. And most of them have the knowledge. But, I mean, I know some of the best big car techs in the country. They wouldn't want to inspect a W body. And they'll tell you that.
Right.
They're like, no, fuck you. No, not happening. We talked to Denton, who was the head tech for the Salisbury Team Show. And he even said it. He goes, you know, anything with a compact, I have no clue.
Right.
Well, fucking, it's not even full frame. Give them all the plates. Yeah, I mean,
that, when Huff first started his whole promotion thing, and we kind of got on board with running his shows, we kind of always knew him, like in a way, like just from derbies, being around, whatever. But yeah, it got like whenever he started, I'm like, I just called him like, I don't know who your tech is. Like, if you're teching it, you're a big car guy. Like, you're not gonna know. I'm like, this is what a lot of us are doing. Scope it, whatever the deal is. I'm like, but I promise you that there's going to be a lot of people that do it. Well, then that's whenever he was like, Travis is the tech. And I'm like, oh, I'm here for this.
Yeah.
But the good thing about Travis is like when we build, we're the type of people like, and there's not many people that are like this anymore. Many people either go way overboard with just doing obvious cheating, or you got the people that are too lazy or they're not going to put any time into their car. Like your last podcast, you said there's going to be a group of guys that are underbuilt, and you're going to have a group of guys that are way overbuilt.
Yep.
So that's kind of how we build anymore. It's like the way we interpret stuff or the way we would look at it. That's where we're like, okay, we kind of live in the gray area of stuff. And then Travis, who
he knows the gray areas.
Yeah, which the good thing is, there's a couple rear-wheel drives going. He was a rear-wheel drive guy. He was a front-wheel drive guy, kind of like Josh.
Mm-hmm.
So you can call him and be like, hey, this is what your rules say. This is what I'm thinking of. And he'll be like, I mean, he'll straight up be like, I guess you got the rules beat. Like,
yep.
And that's what makes me want to go, because if I'm doing something wrong, I'd rather know about it.
Yeah.
Or if there's a better way to do it, most people are not going to just tell you. But he's just, I don't know how to explain it. He doesn't push people away. A lot of people go to I'm the tech, I'm the, this is my show, you're going to do it. And that's not at all how he is. He's going to work with people. I'm pretty sure there's going to be a lot of crazy things show up at the show that people have probably never seen. But that's what is going to make it a good show, because he will be straight up like, you beat me. You got the rule. Do it. And that's what I think makes
that takes some sack.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? To the point where, okay, fuck, he beat me. He beat me. I'll admit that he beat me. And there's not a damn thing I can do about it, because there's some promoters out there, if you beat them, they're going to make sure they catch something else.
Yep.
Hey, you could either fix the one that you beat me on, or fix the one that I want you to fix.
The thing that I hate is like whenever I'm at a show and there's like the promoter or the tech is like, you know, say like if I did something, beat the rules, and then and especially if I'm not being a dick about it and I'm saying, hey, I'm willing to work with you if you're willing to work with me kind of deal. Because at the end of the day, yeah, it's your rules or whatever, but like the drivers, the people that build the car are kind of the ones that put on the show. So you need the cars there to put on the show.
And it's the interpretation of the rule.
Yeah. So that's where I'm like, I'm willing to work with anybody. If I did something, whatever it is, I'll cut it if that's the only option, whatever. But I hate whenever someone's like, it's my rules, I'm the tech, you're going to do whatever I say. It's like, okay, then me and the 7 other guys I showed up here with, like Solo Boy show, the same thing. He's like, for years, as long as I could remember whenever I actually started putting plates on a car, in the rules it says you're allowed a 6x6 plate, wherever you want, whatever you want to do with it. Mm-hmm. Well, now people were taking it too far and butterflying plates, and they kind of they start putting that in the rules. But Solo Boy show, the Mitch guy was the tech. Mm-hmm. He was an older guy. We knew we were going to have problems with him because older guy doing new school stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So, well, we took a plate and folded it in half to make it a 1/4-inch plate. Welded on the car. Didn't do anything crazy with it other than fold it in half. People have been doing that for years. I mean, it's no different than a taco plate. It don't matter. It says you can do whatever you want. He threw a fit about it, and that's where I'm like, and he's sitting there basically saying, well, I'm the tech. And I'm like, well, you don't understand. There's 9 cars here, and 7 of them are cars that I worked on. Like, I will take all 7 of these cars and say, hey, we're going home, and they're going to follow me, and you're going to have 2 cars, and that's just going to make you look bad. Mm-hmm. But the worst part about it is Trent is the one that had to cut the plate. I put the plate there. That green car my brother used to run had the same exact plate. Got a stick. So I'm like, then he's like, well, you can go home. And I'm like, okay. Like, you want me to take all 7 of them with me? And you want to have 2 cars out there? Those shows only going to last 15 minutes, if that?
Or 2.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was
so one person fucks up, gets buried in a corner, and they back off.
Or break an axle, something
Yep.
common that happens. That's just my thing. But I'm also the type where I will work with anybody as long as they're willing to work with me.
Yes.
I'm down to toss ideas, you toss ideas, whatever it is. And that is what makes me like Travis as a tech so much, because of the way he is about it. And he's not a dick. He's not, which he's never, other than like at Salisbury, he's like, hey, they're calling and saying you got tubing in your frame. And they're drilling the frame and all.
Drill
at what point? Yeah, and I got scoped like 17 different times. I'm like, at what point do you give up?
Yep,
like at some point you're gonna stop. Like that car looked like a block of cheese by the time it was done. Like you drilled it in the same spot 6 different times and you found nothing. Like drill it somewhere else.
Yes.
So,
dude, this I'm gonna ask, what's your thought on the demo?
I haven't really put a lot of, like, I haven't looked into it that much. Just I saw like everybody posting the demo thing on their profile picture and saw like the Bristol, all that, but I never looked into it that much just because I kind of saw the rules and like how they're going to do things, and that's kind of what pushed me away from it. Like, I knew there was 0 chance that I was going to go. So it's like, other than that, I don't really know. Like, it kind of just took the whole Derby world by storm, and I'm just over here like, what is it? Like, honestly.
What is it? And, that I just didn't know. Because there's a lot of people that are going into it with blinders on. Either they don't want to do any homework and it's something new, so fuck that. We don't want to do it. We don't even want to try it. But there's always that you haven't looked into it enough to form an educated opinion on it.
Right.
So, I wish there was a lot more guys that would do exactly what you did. Well, there's guys out there that are saying, no, I want to see it the first year. I want to see how everything goes, and then I'll be game on for the second year.
Yeah.
But we try to get everybody's opinion on kind of, what's going on. We were actually talking before the go button. There's a show this Saturday. More Than Just at Salisbury. Golden Spike Event Center, Ogden, Utah. May Mania. Stern Dirt Racing. Old Iron Wire. A-Main, 10K to win. $5,000 for second, $2,500 for third with a $3,000 Mad Dog. We've said it so many times. They pay out for the B-Main. $5,000, $2,500, $1,250, and $1,500 Mad Dog. That's if you don't make the fucking feature. So you get taken out in the heat. Whether you got beat or something stupid happens, you go get paid in the B-Main too. And then this one is actually youth mini car heats, paying $2,000, $1,000, $500, $250, and $500. I think you would. It's a long haul. Don't get me wrong. I mean, it's a long fucking haul. You're 19 hours. But we'll go out to Utah State Fair the second weekend of September for Day of Reckoning. If you've never watched, you need to get on YouTube. Go to Stern Dirt Racing. You can click on all their videos of Full Contact Derby TV. You'll even see our dumbasses last September. But you need to kind of, you as a compact guy, you need to pay attention because they are on so many different levels where we usually say the upper and the lower. Then they've got guys in the middle too, because you'll see some that look like a gut and go, but don't move. You're like, this fucking thing don't got a header.
Like that big car.
Yes. I mean, he'll just fucking track this dude and shit never bends.
Right.
And then you get guys, some that look like they're built up to the top and their shit folds like an accordion. Is that something that, whether it's the Spring X, the Mayhem, the Gold Rush, the whatever, I mean, is you maybe a possibility of the Utah something that you would pique your interest a little bit?
See, one thing about me is I actually enjoy so last year I ran a gut and go car of Trent's. Like I enjoy like the lighter build because then that brings out the driving aspect of it. And that's kind of what I've relied on the last couple years of, because I mean anybody with the rules we're allowed here, anybody can build a hard car. I mean as much plate, how short the frame is, blah blah blah. But there's not very many of like how I started derbying of like, okay, this guy because he's a good driver, this guy because he's gonna full track everybody. So I like running shows like that, but it's just a lot of the times for me it'll like September out there, me going to Blizzard Bash, it'd be hard for me to build a car, travel that far. But if I could get on track with some of those and say there's a couple at the beginning of the year, whatever it is, I would for sure love to go because I like going to new places. My thing is like the reason I like going to Blizzard Bash so much is the people you meet there and just talking to them, hanging out with them, the whole 9 yards. So yeah, if I could figure out how to build a car to their rules that'll compete and make it there, 100%. I would, and I could probably even get a few people to go.
Oh yeah.
But it would just have to be one of those planned out. But yeah, I mean, I'll derby anywhere. Like you said, yeah, derby in the backyard.
I can really tell that people listen because I got a fucking Snapchat of you all derbying outside the shop.
You always got to put a test run on them before you
really did. And I thought, hold on, he's backing up. He's backing up a little too far. Oh shit. So there's no possible way to talk you going back to a big car.
I mean, if it was someone else's. I'm trying to get one of those big cars. So there for a while, I was talking to Tyler Splane, maybe is his name.
Mm-hmm.
He was saying that I saw him in a gut and go car one time, I'm pretty sure. And he was saying something about how he wanted to run a compact car because he's like, oh, you guys full track everything and they don't move, or like Jacob Green. But I'm like, hey, I got a compact car, you get a big car. You run my car, I run your car. Kind of I don't know. I don't want to spend that much money on. I wish I had a setup. Everybody's gonna say, "Oh, you had a setup," and it was not. That car was not ideal for me. The dude that I got the car from was like 5'7", 120 pounds. So not
If
ideal.
anybody knows Tyler, he's not fucking 5'7" or 120 pounds.
Not even close. So that was not, without completely restarting on the car, it was not ideal. And the rules it was built to, and the parts that were, it had a stock rear end, and it was built for like J&B street stock weld rules. Like, it's not going to fly.
Yeah.
So, but no, if I could get the opportunity to run one, I would definitely do it. Just because, see, I don't just see myself as like a compact guy. I see myself as a derby driver. Mm-hmm. Like, I've ran and won in several gut and goes. I've ran the minivans. I ran a compact. I've ran a big car, which was not ideal for me either, but I did it. But a lot of the times I feel like people see like a compact guy wanting to drive a big car. They're like, oh, he's nuts. He's going to go destroy my stuff. Not me. I would, if you had a big car and you're like, hey, go drive this thing, I would drive it as if it was mine. Mm-hmm. Like, and then I'm just not a piece of shit. Like, if I broke something, I would replace it. But
what'd you break? Fucking all of it.
I blew your $20,000 motor up. Congrats. No, it's just I don't know. Might even run a hobo or something. Shelbina's having a full size hobo class they added. I thought about maybe trying to throw something together.
A little something.
Big part for me is I just don't have any parts. Like, it'd be better if I had a motor with headers and all that already on it. Mm-hmm. I could just throw in the car. But
everybody's always, man, you could borrow it. Man, I don't want to borrow the shit.
Yeah. Well,
because I'm buying that bitch after I junk it.
Yeah.
So I got to buy it twice.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be, I don't know, be fun, I guess, in a way.
There's we did say I got suckered into this bullshit a little bit. I said I was retiring from announcing. I turned down 2 last week. And then I get informed, you informed me that I was announcing it. And I was like, what the fuck are you all talking about? So we will be Facebook Live Saturday, Salisbury. I'm not sure if the flyer says rain or shine. I'm not sure. It's rained. It rained today. It's going to rain tomorrow. It's supposed to rain Thursday. And then I think we're kind of in the clear, upper 70s, lower 80s. Hopefully some wind will help dry some shit up. But we will be Facebook Live. My counterpart is supposed to be announcing with me. So if you can't make it to the show, just get on our page. You can watch it. We'll try to do the best that we can. If that team show doesn't excite you, well, you can get onto YouTube, go to Stern Dirt Racing, pull up May Mania, and you can watch it live there as well on their live feed. Mr. Johnny Gulo was supposed to get on with us tonight, but he was not able to. So we will actually catch him Sunday after their May Mania show, Sunday or Monday, whichever day we're going to record next week. We'll recap the show a little bit from Salisbury, and then we'll talk to Johnny, and then we're going to be full tilt Border Wars. I know you were trying to push a little bit of something for a class at Border Wars with Rob and them, so
had about 20 guys on board with it too. but that just goes back to what we were talking about. Had the cars, had everything set up, but they're compact rules are just nowhere
They're
near.
way different.
Yeah.
What do they call them? I think
See,
when we went to Border Wars last year, they were called the 90s.
maybe. I don't know. I've never been there.
So I was like, what the heck? I said, Cody, what the fuck is this? He was like, oh, they're mini cars. I was like, what? And they were kind of like a gut and go hobo car. And I was like, y'all call these 90s? He was like, yeah.
So way before I ever even started the push on just having just the class there, I tried to see if he could get a full-blown Border Wars, for one, I think.
So what you're talking about is a Border War style for compacts.
Yeah. 5, whatever, I think it's 5 guys or whatever from Missouri, 5 from whatever the number is that they use.
18
per state.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you did 10 Missouri, 10 Illinois, 10 Kansas, same style, do the same exact thing. I think it would pull the numbers. I think it would pull, because we talked about Ron Brown from Illinois runs up there with Clayton. He made a post about it, and I'm like, dude, no disrespect, no nothing, but I would do it.
Oh yeah,
100%. Just because I'm more of like, go test my build, test my drive against whoever.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I think if we did something like that, I think people would show up for it.
I do too. There's enough mini cars, Nebraska, Kansas, Iowa, Missouri, Illinois, fucking Minnesota.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what it would take for like the promotion side of it, like as in how you would fit that into your days of Derby. But
I'll send a text.
Do it.
I'll send a text.
I think if we could get something going,
he might. Let me send a text and see if I can word it. Because the only thing you'd have to do is just kill one filler class.
Right. What other classes do they run?
Well, if they run like a hobo compact, then you just get rid of that.
Right. Yeah, and then just do see like the next big thing that's on the come up right now is like your minivan, SUV, stuff like that. If you got rid of that and just threw a minivan class in there. Yeah.
Them guys up there, which we were in Border Wars in Nebraska, so I'm sure that's going to be different than Iowa this year. But yeah, I'll send that text and see if he can get something rolling in his head a little bit.
When is that?
May 31st, June 1st.
Oh, so it'd be like a next year thing anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. But enough heads up. I mean, you got guys signing up 8 months in advance for this thing. So, but that is the next one on our agenda after this Saturday. Remember, guys, Broadhead decals. Hard Nose 24, 10% discount on all door wraps and roof signs. Same thing with Triple B's tees. Chunk blew my doors off the other night. He got back from family vacation, and he said, "Man, I'm not liking the numbers for your all shirt sales." He says, "I'm gonna redesign." I said, "Okay." I said, "It's on you." So he redesigned. He sent it over to me, and I was like, "Yeah, buddy."
There was only one downfall. There wasn't a compact car.
I don't think I have the picture, but there was actually a compact one designed. Probably just never going to make the store. I don't know, but thank you guys for. I launched the shirts and the store. There was, I don't know how many sales within 30 minutes. More in 30 minutes than we had previously sold our other stuff. So if anybody has bought a shirt, thank you so much. I'm supposed to go pick up the new order of the gray and black hats Friday. I will have gray and black and the white and black hats at Salisbury with us, as well as the 40-ounce tumblers, some 4-in-1 koozies, 22-ounce fatty cups, and I think some 20-ounce skinnies. I'm not sure which one the editor lost her fingerprints on. But thank you guys for taking us ride. I know this is a little bit of a curveball with somebody not here with me. Work. Yuck. He got to make a trip to Kansas City. And then I guess the trailer wasn't big enough, so they had to take tires off shit and all that stuff. So he's not even back home yet. So
that saved me an argument. I see all of his Facebook posts. Like the other day, he posted on there and said, "Just run the compacts on Monday" or something between the lines. I'm like, "Oh, this dude's."
I think he did this on purpose.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. So, Mr. Tyler, do you got any last words?
No, I'm just ready to. I'm ready to derby. I think it's gonna be a good one, and I'm ready to get my $150.
Make junk, boys. This episode is brought to you by Broadhead Decals. From door wraps and roof signs, window stickers and banners, let Broadhead Decals take care of all your vinyl needs with only quality products used.
Justin's graphic design abilities will get you everything you could ever want. With super fast shipping, their turnaround time is second to none. So let Broadhead Decals take you to the next level.